It has been too long. I had feared I was the last of us, but you... Oh, the very sight of you is a balm for the soul. I am the Oracle Sargemus, servant of the once shining god, he whose light has lately dimmed. What brings you to this sacred space? Be welcome, for you have found it. People like you and I once sought this place in moments of spiritual turmoil, when the world and our souls could not find rest. Moments of war, but I have seen not one of us these last 3 years, and it is rare indeed that pilgrims come to pray. Perhaps our meeting now is the work of immortal hands. I pray that it is so. Godlike. Such a meager word for us, who are the gods' eyes and ears and hearts. We are the phenomena through which the gods experience the world. We are as like the gods as a finger is like a man. You and I, and our raptured brethren, we are the gods themselves.
That's all very poetic, but it doesn't answer the question. Is this place special to godlikes?
It had been once, when we were legion, but no longer. Our kind came here to find fellowship and understanding, in a world determined to bend us to its purposes. This is a heavy burden you carry, to be beloved of both a god and a god among men. I imagine one cannot help but wonder, did he elevate you for your skills and knowledge, your strengths, your accomplishments, or for what you are? You and I are instruments of a divine will. Choosing you to be his envoy, your emperor ennobles his purpose and tarnishes yours. An expedition? I'm afraid I don't understand.
An expedition? You know, treasure maps, matching outfits, campfire songs, the works.
I am familiar with the concept, tomb raiding and the like. What troubles me is why they would come here. These ruins are not so different from the many others on this island, except that they are a good deal more treacherous. And this representation of Aethys we stand before, it is the work of my own hands. They could not hope to move it. Do you know what their purpose is here? Ah, the splinter of Aethys. I suppose it was too much to hope they were here to examine these exquisite ruins. Truly, it is their loss. The splinter of Aethys is a sliver of shinbone from my lord's titan body. It was carved from his skeleton many centuries ago. Yet long after the gods left this mortal world to claim their dominion in the beyond, the splinter is infused with the very essence of my lord's power, to illuminate without fire, to heal without injury, and to speak without voice. It rests in a shrine deep within this temple complex, beyond the reach of looters, visitors, or indeed myself. The path to the relic has fallen to ruin. Some sections are flooded, and others are infested with all manner of creatures. Although, perhaps you might assist me with that.
If you're about to ask us to tidy up, think again. My place is a much bigger mess.
Oh no, I had something far grander in mind. You see, this construction beside us is no mere statue, but a reliquary I have built to house the splinter of Aethys in its appropriate grandeur. It is nearly complete, and ready for the splinter to be interred. But I can no longer reach the relic on my own. Return it to me, and who knows, perhaps you will meet your expedition along the way. Take all the time you need. Oh, and please refrain from touching my statue or devices. May light illuminate your path, brother. Leave those be. They protect my devices.
Unseek!
Generators. I am glad to see you again. To what do I owe the pleasure of your return, brother? I am as you are, though I do not care for the word. Aethys the Dawn-Treader is my lord and patron. If you will forgive me saying so, I am surprised to meet you here. Even before the vanishing of our kind, it had been some years since a child of Galawain came to speak with me. And I have never seen a member of the Lord of the Hunt's coterie whose visage resembles yours. Ah, of course. I should not have assumed. I have had the great privilege to speak with thousands of our kind during my long life. And you do not resemble a single one of them. But if not Garlawain, I cannot imagine who else among the Pantheon might have blessed you. I'm afraid not. I do not feel the sympathetic resonance in our chimes. My relationship with my lord has oftentimes been the one succor through difficult seasons of my life. I hope that when you find your patron, it is the same for you. May I ask, as a god's child, did your earthly parents love you? Yes, as it was with me. Then Sargamus spoke, and his voice swept forth with the heat and force of the bright day's sun. Weep not, for the Child of Light has forgiveness even for you, if you will embrace him. I am that same Sargamus. Though it has been some time since a man has knelt before me and begged absolution, as Harmka did. The people do not hold to the gods any longer, and they do not hold to their servants. We live in a time of disbelief. The gods are absent, and have recalled their gifts from the world. Avarice reigns. Acquisition is the faith to which all men bow. But perhaps there is hope. You have read the Book of Verses, and we are here together, if only briefly. In this moment, we are not entirely alone. Indeed. It has been my obsession these last few years, hewn by my own hands from stone in Ardra, and no small degree of melancholy. I suspect it will be my last great labor before this body is returned to the earth, and I am returned to my God. If I am, it is from an affliction that death will not cure. But no, brother, I am only very old. My light is waning. As Aethys' essence leaves the world, I am leaving with him. His essence has kept me alive for centuries, and soon we will enter the longest night. There are many theories, which the holy and learned of Eora have only just begun to argue. But you did not ask me for theories. Frankly, I do not know for certain. However, I believe the gods are preparing for war. A struggle between destiny and design. Who yokes the soul of the world? Whose machinations turn the wheel? Who acts, and whom is acted upon? That is the ultimate power, brother. The only power there is. to decide the fate of another, and to make it so. For so long as we have lived, it is the gods who have decided for us. But change is possible, if we are brave enough to want it. And Kith have lately grown very brave indeed. I suppose it's not impossible, but the gods typically make themselves known to us in our earliest days, before we have left the comfort of the womb. They are present in our hearts and mind before, well, before we even have a notion of I at all. I am sorry. Yours is an unusual case. Tell me, this voice in your head, do you want it to be your god? I am afraid that not even your god may tell you that. Answering that question is the soul's true purpose. It is the work of your life. And I suspect neither you nor I will ever know for certain. We can only remain open to curiosity and willing to be surprised. Other than a symptom of madness, you mean? You do not seem especially troubled. No more than any Kith subject to life's uncertainties. As to what the voice is, if it is unlikely to be a god, I cannot say. It may be a particularly powerful soul attempting to control you, or the echoes of a past life. Perhaps it is the sending of an archmage, or some ancient construct of Engwithan make. Or it may just be the beginnings of the Dream Scourge. Whatever this voice is, I suspect only an expert in souls can say. Indeed, my soul has dwelled in this form for centuries, beyond even the lifespan of the longest-lived elf. My lord Aethys inspired my birth in the same year the kingdom of Adir was founded. You might say my birth heralded the empire you now serve. About 630, yes. Give or take a decade. One does lose count. Many, yes. Some that inspired awe, others dread. For a time, I proselytized among the colonists who first settled Ir Glanfath. I held the door of my parish church against an onslaught of Glanfathan raiders, and I watched them fall prostrate before my light. I tended the wounded in the broken stone war, the war of black trees, the war of defiance, and in many wars that were never given the dignity of a name, and since have been forgotten. I can hardly recall them anymore. Is that what they're calling him now? I heard the man that was Widewin speak when he was but a farmer. He had a presence even then, furious, incandescent. It was astonishing, his power. I wonder, had my lord already made a home in his body by then? Did my lord share with Widewin his plans to wage a pointless, bloody war while wearing the poor man's face? What a grave injustice, to have your body stolen and be made into a saint. Tragic Widewin. Pitiable Widewin. I grieve for what became of him. God help me. I do. The Deerwood has been a troubled place since the very moment of its inception. Conflicts erupted as regularly as spring flowers, to bloom and die as swiftly. So, there is always some dark corner in need of light, if you'll indulge me in the metaphor. Truthfully, I had been jailed for proselytizing in Colklin, and it was to the colonies I was exiled. So it was the Deerwood or death. I had nowhere else to go. That is a question for my lord. I have asked him many times, but even when he spoke to me, he would not say. I suspect it is his essence that has kept me alive, and now that he has abandoned this world, well, I soon expect to die. Not anymore. In prayer, in dreams, as I ate and loved and labored, his voice was a constant murmuring in my ear. But when I spoke to him, he never did reply. So, do not mistake his talking for a conversation. He only wanted to be heard. Because you are my brother, and I want someone to know. Of course, explore to your heart's content, but please refrain from touching my statue or devices. Go in peace. I will be here if you return.